Hey guys, so we had the worldwide campaign announcement video part 2 drop for obviously part 2 of the 2024 worldwide celebration featuring the BROLY Second Coming characters. We of course have LR BROLY and Super Saiyan Gohan. These are the two characters here. So we're going to go through their details, and I'm going to at least try and decipher everything we have going on here, because these are very elaborate characters. I mean, we can take a look at Broly's passive. Broly's passive is like... We joke about how these passives are like novels at this point. It is an actual joke how long Broly's passive is, but it looks like Broly is actually going to start out as Legendary Super Saiyan. So we just got the EZA for the Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, the TUR from Saiyan Day 2021, I think it was, something like that. 2022 maybe? No, I think it's 2022. Something. I don't remember the year, but no, it's 2021 because Majin Vegeta is 2022, right? So he has the same name, which is going to be even less of an incentive to run that Broly. And then we have Super Saiyan Gohan Teen, which is, I think, a pretty good name for this character because there's no other good Super Saiyan Gohan Teens right now. So we will continue on to the actual details here. I guess we should play the animations because they definitely look very good. This is Broly's intro animation. Let's make sure that this is not like super mega loud here. But these all look... the animations are... They didn't miss, I don't think, with a single one. It's so good. That is such a good intro, man. And then here's the super attacks. This is the 12 key super. Savage Blaster. Okay. And here's the 18 key. I do think these will look even better in 2x speed, but yeah, these are still obviously very good. Gigantic Driver. All right, goodbye, Gohan. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at his details here. So first, we have his categories. So he's, of course, on a lot of... I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be on the same amount of categories as the first Broly. The only thing being different is I think this one will have Revenge, right? Uncontrollable Power, Revenge, Planetary Destruction, Movie Bosses, Transformation Boost, Pure Saiyans, Resurrected Warriors, Full Power, Target Goku, Exploding Rage, Inhuman Deeds, Legendary Existence, Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Oh yeah, and Powerful Comeback, because this guy actually does have a Revive as well. So here's his leader skill. Broly is the Dokkan Fest exclusive, whereas Gohan is the Carnival. So of course they're going to switch things up for part 2 as opposed to how they were in part 1. So this is Uncontrollable Power, which is the new category. Revenge or Planetary Destruction category, key +3. And then HP attack and defense 170%. And then an extra 30% buff to Movie Bosses, Transformation Boost, or Pure Saiyans. So obviously, the secondary effect is really strong. Movie Boss, Pure Saiyan, or Transformation Boost, that is insane. There are so many characters that belong to all those, but Uncontrollable Power, Revenge, or Planetary Destruction is a little weaker compared, I think, definitely to the Part 1 Dokkan Fest, the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. Uncontrollable Power, Revenge, or Planetary... We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, you can just fill it up with a lot of Broly characters. We just got the EZA for the Tech Broly, which I'll have that showcase video going up in a little bit. He's really good. So he'll fit on here. Obviously the part 1 Broly will fit on here, and then I mean, we'll see what they want to do for other EZAs in the celebration, but I'm really thinking they could super EZA the LR STR Broly potentially, but the thing is that guy now has the same name as this guy, so we'll see what they want to do. All right, so that is the leader skill. Super attack effects, 12 key. We have the Savage Blaster. Massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn, with a high chance of further raising defense for 1 turn. That is a lot of defense. That is 130% defense on 12 key. Causes colossal damage with a high chance of stunning the enemy. The 18 key is the Ultra Super Attack Gigantic Driver. Massively raise attack and defense for 1 turn with a high chance of further massively raising attack for 1 turn. He can get, so it's a 50% chance, I guess, of getting a 200% attack raise on this 18 key. That is crazy. Mega Colossal damage with a great chance of stunning the enemy. So that's good. very, very good super attack effects. I mean, at least you're getting 100% defense and attack per 18 and 12 key super, which is ridiculous. Okay, here's passive. Oh boy. All right, so I clearly was not able to internalize all this information during the stream / premiere. So this is not my first time reading this, but this is really going to be the first time I'm going to be able to actually sit here and like analyze what this is. So the passive is Undying Devil. Activates the entrance animation upon the character's entry once only. And extreme class allies gain defense plus 40% for 4 turns from the character's entry turn. So there is no condition for this, which is really good. There's not a condition. You don't have to use them with other uncontrollable power allies. You have to run it next to movie boss characters. You just turn 1, he's getting this, and that's it. Which is not, I mean, it's a buff to the whole team for 4 turns. Attack and defense plus 260% and reduces damage received by 60%. That is just baseline. He's got 60% damage reduction baseline. That's even better than the Broly from part 1, because the Broly from part 1 has 50% damage reduction, but he's getting the extra 26%. I believe it's for 4 turns that he has that. So the Broly from part 1 is getting more damage reduction for a shorter period of time, and it's going to taper off to a lower amount than this guy just has at all times. So that's a bit of a trade-off, but I really like 60% damage reduction at all times is really, really good. Then he's going to get an additional 100% attack when attacking, which is a multiplicative buff. Then he's going to get an additional key plus 2 and recovers 2% HP per type key sphere obtained. So he's getting 2% HP restoration per type key sphere. So if you get 5 type key spheres with this character, he's healing 10% HP, which is nice. I mean, I imagine his team is not going to have a ton of healing. He's not going to be being ran with like boo characters or something like that. So to have healing on this team, especially if you're running 2 of this guy, leaders, which I think you will, he's going to be looking pretty damn good with the healing. All right, so then we move on to the next part. They had to literally highlight portions of this passive because of how long it is. While the domain Molten Lava of Not, you know, we should probably stop here and just take a look at what his domain does first. So here's his active skill. The active skill is the Earth Crushing Arm. Massively raise attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage, and then creates the domain Molten Lava of Natade Village for 3 turns. The conditions for this can be activated when there is a Goku's family category enemy, or when all allies attacking in the same turn are uncontrollable power category characters. So you can activate this turn 1, which is insane, right? When we first heard this guy had a domain, because they mentioned this at the beginning of the premiere, they're like, this Broly has a domain. We were like, oh my god, please no. But the fact that you can activate this domain in the beginning of the fight means that it's not really going to interfere with other domain mechanics. So that's really good. It's not gonna, you're not gonna have an issue with this not overlapping or being able to be overlapped with other domains, because you can just use it at the beginning of the fight, and then later on it'll have expired and you can use other domains like AGL Broly's domain, stuff like that. So we can take a look at the animation for this right here. Let's go ahead and play this.
Uncontrollable skill animations.
Yeah, this looks really good too. And then the whole area just breaks apart. The lava, yeah, they did a really good job with this character's animations. All the animations. And the laugh, yeah. And then here is his revive, which we'll get to in a second, but you might as well watch this. So Gohan is going to trigger Broly's revive here. I'm assuming you guys will be able to guess what the animation is going to be. Yeah, this looks really good. They did such a good job on these animations, man. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now we can go back, right? No, we already saw this. So let's keep going. So yeah, the active skill. So here's the actual domain effect. Molten Lava of Natade Village. Uncontrollable power category enemies and allies gain 15% attack and defense. And then increases damage received by superclass enemies and allies by 15%. And then an additional 10% for characters who also belong to the movie heroes category. So if you have a movie heroes category enemy, they're taking an additional 25% from when this domain is up, which is a lot. Plus, you're also getting an extra 15% stat buff to your whole team if they're on uncontrollable power here. Okay, so now we're going to go back to his passive, and we're going to look at the middle part of the passive now. While the domain Molten Lava of Natade Village is active, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, int and STR excluded, to STR key spheres at start of character's attacking turn and guards all attacks. Attacks effective against all types for the rest of battle when the character performs an attack while the domain is active. So from the point where the domain is active, he's going to be getting effective against all types, and he's going to have guard. Right, so hold on, let me just reread this. While the domain is active, changes key spheres of a certain type to STR key sphere at the start of character's attacking turn and guards all attacks. So it sounds like the guard is the guard only, yeah, it sounds like the guard is only active during the domain, is what it sounds like. I mean, when you have the guard active on this character, he's essentially unkillable, right? Because he's going to have the guard plus 60% damage reduction, plus he's going to have all the stats from from existing, right? It's a little bit strange that he is changing key spheres to STR, right? Because he's int. Huh. STR. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why he's doing that. Changes key spheres a certain... Is that specifically to help EZA Turles? Is that specifically to help EZA LR Turles? That might be. I mean, they very clearly want you to run Turles next to this character, or on the same team as this character at the very least. But yeah, the effective against all types is for the rest of the battle. And that's really the extra effects he's getting from the domain being active, which is, I mean, the orb changing is nice. All right, and then we're going to go down to the last part of the passive. This thing is insane. Starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry turn, revives with 60% HP recovered when the character or an ally attacking in the same turn is KO'd. So that is basically just, honestly, I don't want to call this a better version of like Evolution Blue Vegeta's Revive, but I mean, you're almost always getting Evolution Blue Vegeta's Revive by like turn 5. I mean, you could possibly get it earlier, but that's only if you get really lucky and you have 5 attacks aimed at him in the first time he's on rotation. But this is a really, really strong revival skill because it's just a team protector ability, essentially, right? It's not just when BROLY dies, it's when anyone on the rotation with BROLY dies. And then you're getting 60% of your HP back. So it is, yeah, it is really, really good. Then he's going to get an additional 60% defense when receiving an attack after the character or an ally's revival skill is activated. I am pretty sure this is just a multiplicative 60% defensive buff, which is insane on this character, considering he's getting the massive raises on 18 key and 12 key. Okay. After the character and allies rival skills activated, then he's going to change physical key spheres to int key spheres and uncontrollable power category allies attack and defense plus 60% at start of character's attacking turn from the turn in which the character's revival skill is activated. So yeah, this last part of his passive are basically all hinging upon him reviving. So I guess this makes sense. So he's going to be changing, this is where he's changing the key spheres to int key spheres, but it's specifically physical key spheres, which is good that he's not changing tech key spheres because that's of course the type of key sphere you're going to want to get for the other BROLY. So the one thing that doesn't exist on this character is any additionals, right? He doesn't do any additional attacks, I don't think. I don't believe he does any additionals, which is very uncommon for just like a modern Dokkan Fast, or even just any modern summonable character in general. Just the fact that he doesn't do any additionals. That, I think, is one of the reasons why they were so comfortable giving him these like absurd super attack effects, because, I mean, otherwise it would be a little bit too insane, probably. He also doesn't crit anywhere, but he has effective against all types built in when you have the domain active, and from that point forward in the fight, too. So those are some things to note. This guy really does feel more of like a utility defensive style character as opposed to like an offensive juggernaut, which is what BROLY typically is. But to be fair, the part 1 BROLY also was more of a defensive unit too. So this is an interesting take on this BROLY for sure. Okay, so that is going to wrap things up with BROLY. Very, very long, convoluted character. Let's take a look at Super Saiyan Gohan now. Let's take a look at his animations.
Attack animations.
All right, here we go. There's the 12 key super. This guy does not have an intro. The Masenko. Okay. Pretty good. And then the 18 key is, I think it's the super explosive wave. Yeah, these look really good. You can tell they put a lot of effort into recapturing the essence of a lot of the style of the movie and how like the anime used to look back when this movie came out. Yeah, here it is. Super explosive wave. The classic Budokai Tenkaichi 3 ability.
What do
All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at his categories here. So this is Super Saiyan Gohan Teen. Let me move my face cam up so we can see everything. Kamehameha, Hybrid Saiyans, Full Power, Movie Heroes, Goku's Family, Siblings Bond, Super Saiyan Saviors, Earthbird Fighters, Power of Wishes, and Bond of Parent and Child. Super attack effects. 12 key is the Masenko. Greatly raise attack and raise defense for 1 turn. Cause colossal damage with a high chance of stunning the enemies. This is a 1-turn great attack raise and a 1-turn regular defense raise. The 18 key super is the super explosive wave. The same exact super attack effect is on this one as the 12 key, where he's going to be getting a 50% attack raise and actually this might be is this a 20% defensive raise? It might be. It might not be a 30%. I think it's 30% because it's not an infinite stack, but it's possible it's 20%. I'm pretty sure it's 30 though. 50% attack raise, 30% defensive raise for 1 turn, Mega Colossal, and then he's also going to raise Super Class Allies defense by 50% for 1 turn, which again is going to affect himself. So I'm just envisioning this guy being on rotation with the Part 1 Goku, Gohan, and Trunks character. Like you have Goku, Gohan, and Trunks in slot 1, you have this character in slot 2, and they're both raising Super Class Allies defense by 50% for 1 turn. You have like someone like Physical Gogeta in slot 3. And at that point, he's like basically unkillable. The amount of defense you're giving to that rotation is ridiculous. So that's sort of what I'm thinking here. Remember, this guy is a Carnival LR, which means he's only going to have a 1 category leader skill. But it is for Kamehameha. 200% to stats for Kamehameha is a pretty good leader skill, even though it's only 1 category. Kamehameha is a very expansive team, so not a bad choice at all for that. All right, now we're going to move on to his passive here. The Power to Protect Earth. He is getting 5 key, 200% attack and defense start a turn. That's pretty good. Just 5 keys. Very nice. Then an additional 2 key, attack plus 40% up to 200%. And defense plus 30% up to 150% with each attack performed. So he's got to do 5 attacks, which is really not that bad considering he's actually doing a lot of attacks here. We'll see in a second. Plus an additional attack plus 77% within the same turn with each super attack performed. That's a lot. That is, I'm pretty sure, a multiplicative attack buff similar to, like, I'm pretty sure this is the same exact mechanic that Physical Rose has, but this is specifically for super attacks, not for any attacks. Rose's is for any time he attacks. He buffs his attack and defense. But for this Gohan, this is only for attack, but still, it's pretty good. Launches an additional super attack, launches his initial attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack when key is 18 or more, my favorite mechanic. When key is 24, he gets an additional attack plus 58% and launches an additional super attack. And if HP is 77% or more, attacks effective against all types. So, really important to get him to 24 key. It's not imperative, but it is really helpful because he's getting the additional super guaranteed plus the extra attack, and then he's also getting effective against all types. So it's going to not only add a lot of attack, but it's also going to give him extra defense from the super attack effect that he's going to get from the extra super there. When there's another Kamehameha or Earthbred Fighter category ally attacking in the same turn, he's going to get an additional key plus 2 and guards all attacks, and if HP is 77% or less when receiving an attack, high chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack. So as long as you're running him with another Kamehameha or Earthbred Fighter category ally in the same turn, he's going to have guard, which there's no way you don't have him running next to another Earthbred Fighter or Kamehameha category. There's like, if you don't have that up, you're probably building a bad team around him, honestly. So yeah, and then there's also the dodge when his HP is 77% or less, which we'll see. I don't know how likely that's going to be. I don't know what the uptime of that's going to be, but yeah, there it is. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. I can tell you that for sure. He's getting a lot of different attack buffs. So it's 200% attack, start a turn. He's getting up to 200% from attacking a lot. 77% extra attack per super in the turn, another 58% attack when he gets 24 ki. That's a lot of different sources of attack. So I do think this character is going to be hitting very hard. Very, very hard. All right, let's move on here. I think yeah, so they're going to show his standby here. Let's go ahead and take a look here.
I'm the one who's going to defeat you.
Alrighty. All right, so that's the standby animation. They actually made a mistake here. This is not the art for his standby. It's different. I don't know why they showed the wrong art here. But here's his standby mode. Now, there's actually a new mechanic associated with the standby mode. So when you activate the let's look at the condition first. Can be activated when HP is 77% or less, or starting from the third turn from the character's entry turn. So third turn from the character's entry turn can be a little bit annoying, but I don't think it's really going to be that bad, right? So if he's on slot 7, that's going to be turn 6 potentially. But is it going to be turn 6? Yeah, turn 6 he'll be able to do the standby, I guess, right? Which is the latest you'd be able to get it. The earliest you can get it is turn... Can he even do it on turn 3? You know, he can do it on turn 3, right? Third turn from the character's entry. No, he actually can't, right? So I think what you actually would have to do is you would float him, right? So let's just say you get him on turn 1. You probably just float him turn 1, right? Because then his third turn would be the turn where he shows up. It's like Gogeta's transformation almost, right? Super Saiyan Gogeta into Blue Gogeta. You'd want to float this guy, I guess, to get his standby up as fast as possible. Okay, so enter standby mode. Stands by for 5 turns, during which 7 Dragon Balls appear. Here's the new mechanic. Charge count increases by 1 per key sphere obtained by allies, and by an additional 4 per Dragon Ball obtained by allies. So what are the Dragon Balls? I think they do show a visual of what this looks like so we can get a better understanding here. Let's go ahead and see.
Please take a look.
Yeah. So here is his standby. So here's the actual art of what his standby is supposed to look like right there. As you can see, Dragon Balls were randomly thrown onto a bunch of key spheres. Obviously, there's only going to be 7 Dragon Balls. And like I said in the part describing his standby, whenever you gain a Dragon Ball, he's going to be getting, what was it, 4 charge counts? Yeah, 4 charge counts per key sphere with Dragon Ball on it, right? Additional 4 per Dragon Ball obtained, yeah. So it is completely random here. And then I think they do explain. No, I mean, Omatsu just talks about it, but he says the Dragon Balls are randomly assigned to key spheres. So we'll see. You could get really unlucky with it, or you can get really lucky with it. And the amount of Dragon Balls that you get is also going to affect the finish skills, which we'll take a look at in a second. But they also do show the animations of the finish skills. We could take a look at those here. So this is the weakest of the... There's 3 finish skills because there's 3 different, I guess, ways you could activate this. So here's the first one. It goes in order from weak to strong. All right, so this one is just Gohan. Yeah, it does look really good, even though it's just Gohan there. All right, so that's the weakest one. Here's the middle one. Alrighty, there's Goten helping out. Alright, and then here's the strongest one.
What are we gonna do? I wish Dad was here.
You every ounce of power you've got in you. No more chances after this one, are there?
Dad!
This looks really good. Then you got this iconic shot right here. They got to get that one in. Yeah, that looks really, really good. And then, of course, the KO screen we'll see after this as well with the Dragon Balls dispersing. Yeah. That does look really, really good. Okay, so here are the different finish skill effects. So this is the weakest one. This can be activated when charge count is 34 or less, which I think this is when you collect 0 Dragon Balls. This is going to be almost, you're never going to, like, you're literally never going to see this one, I don't think. But this one is raise attack by 15% temporarily per charge count and causes ultimate damage. The next one can be activated when charge count is 35 or more with 6 or fewer Dragon Balls obtained. Raise attack by 15% temporarily per charge count and causes super ultimate damage. I think that's the main difference, right? This one is super ultimate and the other one is just ultimate. Yeah, this one is just ultimate. I mean, I guess it's just if you get less than 34 charge counts, but keep in mind, this Gohan could be standby for 5 turns. So it's going to be very tough to not get 35 charge counts, I think. And then here is the full power finish effect. Can be activated when charge count is 35 or more with 7 Dragon Balls obtained. This one raises attack by 20% temporarily per charge count, super ultimate damage, and attacks effective against all types. So no need to worry about like fishing for crits and stuff like that. Although crits are obviously going to be more effective against all types, but at least you don't have to worry about like doing like if this is an STR character, if you're going up against like an AGL boss or something, you have to worry about the AGL boss sort of like sponging the damage on this. And then the actual standby effect. So this is what this Gohan looks like during his standby. Power of Wishes and Justice. Unable to attack except when finish effect is activated. So similar to the Part 1 Goku. Attack plus 77% per superclass ally attacking in the same turn. And if all allies attacking in the same turn are superclass, reduce damage received by 77%. He's getting... this is insane to me. 50% defense when receiving an attack per key sphere obtained. That is a multiplicative defensive buff. That's just imagine you get 5 key spheres. That is a 250% multiplicative defensive buff when you receive an attack. If you're running this character next to orb changers, which you are going to be running this character most of the time next to the Part 1 unit, you're going to be orb changing a ton every single turn. You're going to be able to get 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 orbs with this character. 11 orbs with this unit is a multiplicative 550% defensive buff. And then they have guard and 77% damage reduction. This character's not taking damage when he's in standby. There's no way. And then he's getting an additional 258% attack when finish effect is activated. So really, really strong unit. I think both this guy and the Broly are going to be really strong. I think one thing I will caution people of with this Broly is I would really not expect this Broly to be doing tons of damage, right? This Broly, again, has no additionals built in anywhere, right? Unless I'm just not remembering. Defense, reduce damage received when attacking. He's getting healing. Yeah, I don't think he's not doing any. He's just effective against all types. He has the revive. Yeah, he's more of a defensive utility type of character, which I'm fine with because that's really what the villains need to be doing, I think, right now. Should work really well with the Broly from Part 1 as a rotation. Should work pretty well with the Tech Broly. Remember, he's giving attack 60% attack and defense support to uncontrollable power after he's revived, so he's going to function as a support character as well. But I would not expect this guy to be doing tons of damage. Okay, I don't think you're going to be seeing these ridiculous attack numbers from this guy, but that is not really what his role is going to be. So there we go. Those are the Part 2 characters. By the way, they are coming out on the 13th, so got a bit of time. We got 3 days, but let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.